Right here in Inwood Hill Park, Shirakapak, representing the Shirakapak Earthkeeper as well as tAiNoFuNhOuSe. I got a little lecture here I want to give you guys, share with you. Right here you can see this beautiful tree. We're almost at the end of the winter. Next week, March 21st, we have the spring coming, and you can tell right here some of the plants growing. These are the flowers will be growing, but we still have a dead tree. You can see the branches up there. There's no leaves, there's no nothing, but they're coming soon because spring is coming. So we just passed the winter time. So this is part 2 about the sacred tree teachings, and this is indigenous spirituality. You can't get any older than this. So basically, we all know that this tree right here started with a small seed. All these trees right here who are dormanted or sleeping, they all started with a single seed, and look how big they got. So the seed contains a mighty tree. If it gets water, it gets nutrients, it gets sun, it's gonna grow mighty. So a seed represents the 4 aspects of who we are as a human being. Remember I told you in the first video, I said the physical world, that's one seed. The mental is the second seed. The emotional aspect of human beings is the 3rd seed, and the 4th seed is spirituality. So as a human being, we require 4 seeds, okay? Now, for us to grow, for us to receive that beautiful gift that is human life, there has to be an activation within the life force. As you remember in Atabe, that circle with the dot in the middle, that's the representation of that life force. But to activate our growth, to activate change in our life, we call it the will. In psychology, they call it volition. But for us, is the will, and it's the will that helps us develop those 4 sacred seeds. And the will is what helps us make decisions. It helps us make certain actions in our life. It could be constructive or it can be destructive. Hopefully, as human beings, we pick the positive elements, the constructive elements or energies, not the destructive ones. So to exercise the will, to activate the will, right, which is located in the center of the wheel, of the circle, like Atabe, the middle, that's the will. And to exercise that will, there's 5 things that we have to practice, or I should say 5 exercises. How about that? One is attention. We have to concentrate, we have to focus on the world around us. The second one, we have to set goals. Very important to set goals. And also, we have to initiate the action once we figure out what the goal is. And then, once we got the goal in place, once we set it in motion, the action, now number 4, we have to persevere. And this is the part where many people stop. They give up on their goals. But you have to persevere. And then the 5th dynamic, or the 5th exercise that when we activate the will, is completing the action. And this is indigenous knowledge, this is indigenous wisdom passed down by elders. Attention, goal setting, initiating the action, persevering, and completing the action. Now, the primary force behind the will, right, the centerpiece, the center point of the circle, is we as human beings have to understand that within us, within that will, is potentiality. We have the potential of being this beautiful tree that begins with a seed. When you were born, you were a baby. Baby had no language to talk to anyone, so we had to learn, we had to develop, okay? And even before we became a baby, we were a small ovum that united with a sperm which created life, and that developed 9 months in the womb, you see? So we started with a seed, but it took a relationship between male and female, biological connection, explosion occur, and there you are. So you are uniquely powerful. You are uniquely a life force. So one element of our within this whole life force is potentiality. The will is number 2. Now let me tell you number 3. Number 3 is vision. Okay, have you ever heard of Vision Quest? This is the part where we actually understand what our potential is, and this is we learn from elders. We learn this from teachings, and we also use the sacred tree as a way of teaching us, right? So our will is like a magnet. It pulls us into our potential way of how we're going to be in the future, how we are in the present, and our ancestors from the past. So it's like a magnet, okay? The will is a magnet. So when we're connected to this will, we have these visions, okay? Where we need to be, who we need to be, and so on. Okay, number 4, growth and change, okay? So vision of what is possible in our life is an application of the will to change our actions. We have to pay attention to that magnet, okay? So the closer we get to our vision, the closer we get to our happiness, the closer we get to health, the closer we get to what is a human being, okay? Number 5, identity. Okay, we all identify either through our names, where we live, where we come from, your tribal affiliation, your ethnicity. But check it out. What I'm talking here in the ancient ways of the sacred tree is body awareness, self-concept. You have to think who you are. What is your potential? Number 3, self-esteem. You need to feel who you are. Who are you? Number 4, the self and ability to grow and change. And number 5, self-determination, ability to activate the will, to apply the will, okay? So, in summarization, right? We look at the sacred tree, we're looking at the physical element of a human being, we're looking at the mental, emotional, and spiritual, okay? Before I end this video, I want to give you number 6, okay? The 6th level, and that is values. There are patterns that we create in our life, and these patterns could be positive, it can be negative. Now, if you choose the patterns of being negative, you might get sick. You might even get cancer, because we know that through stress, through anxiety, through our actions, maybe we eat certain foods that are not good for us, and that will lead to disease. So, values. So we need to hold a balance between ourselves, others, and we have to maintain that balance. What I like to call in a tAiNo way, maintain that rhythm. Like we play the drum, the mayawakan or the rattle, we maintain rhythm, okay? So our true potential will not develop if we don't maintain this balance, this rhythm, okay? And what's gonna happen is, as we know, if we don't maintain that balance, we're gonna suffer, and it can even lead to our death. Now I'm gonna stop right now. I know I gave you a lot of stuff. In the next follow-up video, I'm gonna break this down, but for now, I want you to look at this tree right here. And I'm gonna, in a future video, I'm gonna show you what it becomes. But you got the bark, you have the roots that you can't see, you have the branches, and you got the dead leaves. In the next video, I want to talk about what it all represents. Thank you very much. I know I gave you a lot, and I'll see you soon.